Hey friends, welcome to my home. Today I'm going to show you my new piano. And when I say new piano, I mean it's new to me, not new to the world. I just got it a couple of months ago. I found it advertised on Facebook Marketplace, of all places, and the price was really, really good. So Mrs. French and I decided to buy it. And here's an interesting fact. I've been playing the piano for over 20 years and I have never in my life owned a real piano. I've always had a digital piano, which is a piano that you have to plug into the wall. It needs electricity. And it was a very nice piano, and I still have it, but it's nice to have an actual acoustic piano. An acoustic piano means you don't have to plug it in. The sound that you hear from the piano is made by the strings that are inside the piano. And believe it or not, there are hammers inside the piano. Not hammers like you might use if you're going to do a building project, but hammers of a different sort. And in just a moment, we're going to take a look at the inside of the piano. Now, I mentioned that this piano is new to me, but not new to the world. The piano that sits behind me was actually made in 1901. That means it is over 100 years old. In fact, since it's 2021, that means this piano is 120 years old. So much older than me and much older than you. So I hope you enjoy taking a tour of my new slash old piano. Okay, friends, so you can see that I have taken the front of the piano off, and it was very easy to take off. There were just two little levers that I had to move, and then I could carefully remove the front panel of the piano. And when I play the piano, when I push down a key, like this, there is a hammer that moves. And you can see that hammer moving. Remember I said it's not a hammer like if you're making a wood project at home, or maybe somebody who builds a house would use a hammer. This is a special kind of hammer that has felt on the end of the hammer. This is very, very tight, somewhat hard felt. Felt is usually very soft and kind of fuzzy. And this is still a little soft and a little fuzzy, but because we want it to be able to hit the string on the piano, it's compressed and it's a little bit harder. So when I push this key down, we can see that that hammer that has the felt on it is moving and it's hitting a string. And let me move the camera closer so you can see what I'm talking about. Do you see the string that it's hitting? When that hammer hits the string, that's what causes the string to vibrate. And we know that sound happens because of vibrations. So the hammer hitting the string is causing the string to vibrate, and that means we get to have sound from our piano. So if you're playing a guitar, you take your fingers or you take a pick and you scrape across the strings of a guitar, and that causes the strings to vibrate, and that's how we get the sound. Now, we don't scrape our fingers across the piano, but we instead push the keys, which makes the hammer hit the string, and then the strings vibrate, and that's how we get our sound. Now, speaking of strings, instead of just one string for each key, we have three for these higher notes. The high notes and the middle notes on our piano have three strings instead of just one. And all these things here are called the tuning pegs. And if I take a special tool, a special wrench, I can turn it. And what that does is it tunes the piano. And when I tune the piano, it sounds better. And in order to tune the piano, when you tighten or loosen these, that actually makes the string longer or shorter, but not by a lot. You probably wouldn't even notice it with your eyes, but it shortens or lengthens just a little bit. And now I'm going to show you a low note. So here is one of our low notes. You can see the hammer is moving, but if you look, there is a lot of other stuff that is happening with just one press of a key. I can push this key down, and there's a lot of other things that happen. This part right here, when I push the key down, it actually comes up, and it engages not only this, but also this piece as well that is connected to the hammer, and that causes the hammer to go forward and to hit the string. So you can see this is what the inside looks like. All those strings, these strings down here are for the low notes. And then we're going up the piano. And the strings in the middle, as you might imagine, are the middle notes. They're not too high, they're not too low. And as we go towards the right of the piano, we see that we have more of the same stuff. What we have at the low end of the piano is much like what we have at the high end of the piano. Now, one thing that is pretty interesting, when I push one of the pedals down by the floor, it changes something that is happening inside the piano. When I press a key on the piano, and I'll show you in just a minute, there's something called a damper that comes down, and it actually stops the vibration of the strings. So I push a key on the piano, and when I lift my finger up, and I'm no longer pressing that key, there's something inside the piano that immediately goes into action, and it goes and covers the string and causes it to stop vibrating. And since sound happens because of vibrations, when that little damper comes to stop the vibration of the string, that means the note no longer sounds. It stops sounding. And if I go down at the bottom of the piano and push the pedal on the right, that is called our sustain pedal. Sometimes it's called a damper pedal, and what that means is it does not engage the damper. The damper does not go down on the string to cause the string to stop vibrating. Let me show you what pedal that is. This pedal right here on the right of the piano is that sustain pedal that I was talking about, the damper pedal. So when I push that down, it causes the dampers to not go down and touch the string, which means that the note will continue playing. These little things right here behind the hammers, these are the dampers. And when I push a key and the hammer hits the string, this damper comes up and it does not rest on the string, because if it rests on the string, it's not going to vibrate. Now I can make all of these dampers come up by pushing the pedal on the right. You see how they all came up at once? Now they're down, now they're up, now they're down. So if I play a note on the piano, or if I play a chord on the piano, as long as my fingers are pushing down on the keys, those dampers are not going to go back and touch the keys. Or I'm sorry, they're not going to go back and touch the strings. Now, if I want it to continue playing without having my fingers on it, I can push that pedal on the right. So I push the pedal, and then I play a chord, and my fingers are not playing, they're not touching the keys, but the sound is still happening. And if I want it to stop, I can release the pedal, and then the dampers go back down. So after all this talking about the piano and showing you how it works on the inside, I bet you're interested in hearing what it sounds like when I play a song. I can also play a song that you might recognize. Thank you for joining me for this special edition of Music Class with Mr. French at Mr. French's home. I hope you enjoyed learning about the piano and getting to take a tour of my new piano, which, as it turns out, is actually not very new. It's very old. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great week.